Imagine waking up, heart racing, from a dream so vivid it felt real. You met a woman with skin as white as snow, silver hair, and piercing blue eyes, who reveals she belongs to a sub-Saharan African tribe. As the dream fades, you realize she was a black woman with albinism, and you're left wondering, could someone that unique actually exist? Well, statistically, yes. But it raises a much wilder question. Out of 8 billion people on Earth, what would the absolute rarest person alive look like? Let's find out. 1. The captivating dream and the curious reality of human rarity. Imagine waking up with your chest heaving and your pulse racing from a vision that felt entirely indistinguishable from reality. In this vivid daydream, you find yourself sharing a park bench with a mesmerizing woman whose features defy conventional expectations. She possesses skin as radiant and white as freshly fallen snow, curly silver tresses, and piercing blue eyes. When she introduces herself as Abarash from a sub-Saharan African tribe, a wave of realization washes over you. She is a black woman living with albinism. As she gracefully types her number into your phone with her left hand, an undeniable romance blossoms on subsequent dates, proving her intellect is just as breathtaking as her appearance. But just as your heart surrenders to love, the harsh blare of your morning alarm shatters the illusion. Lying awake in the quiet comfort of your room, you are left pondering a profound question. Could an individual possessing this exact combination of extraordinary traits truly wander the earth? Statistically speaking, the answer is a resounding yes. However, this mesmerizing thought experiment naturally paves the way for a grander, far more fascinating inquiry. Out of the roughly 8 billion human beings currently breathing on our planet, what would the single rarest person imaginable actually look like? To systematically unravel this biological mystery, we must dissect humanity piece by piece, examining the rarest corners of our global population. If you find yourself deeply captivated by these wondrous mysteries of human nature and love exploring the hidden quirks of our world, please take a brief moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your incredible support helps us keep uncovering these fascinating stories, ensuring you never miss our next deep dive into the extraordinary. 2. The isolation of tribal origins and the genetic marvel of albinism. To construct the foundation of our exceptionally rare individual, we must bypass the massive global populations that dominate our modern landscape. For context, the Han Chinese demographic alone commands a staggering share of the human family, accounting for roughly 18% of all people, which translates to well over 1.4 billion individuals from a single ethnic background. Our hypothetical person, however, resides on the absolute opposite end of this vast demographic spectrum. They belong to one of the planet's most isolated, critically endangered ethnic groups, such as the Sentinelese of the Andaman Islands, whose uncontacted community is estimated to number between 50 and 400 souls, or the Amazonian Kawahiva, whose remaining population comprises fewer than 30 individuals. By conservatively establishing our character's origin within a tiny tribal group of just 500 people globally, the baseline mathematical probability of their existence plummets to a staggering 1 16 million. But we are only getting started. Next, we introduce the profound genetic variation known as complete albinism. This condition arises from specific hereditary mutations that completely disrupt or entirely shut down the biological pathways responsible for producing melanin, the essential pigment determining the coloration of human skin, hair, and eyes. Consequently, an individual with total albinism exhibits near-white skin, ethereal silver hair, and irises that look pale blue, gray, or even pinkish depending on how ambient light scatters through the unpigmented iris. On a global scale, this striking visual condition manifests in roughly 1 out of every 20,000 births. When we statistically combine this rare genetic occurrence with our tiny baseline tribal population, the mathematical odds of our unique individual existing collapse down to an astonishing 1 320 billion. 3. The uniqueness of sinistrality and the mystery of mismatched eyes. Our journey into extreme human rarity deepens as we alter the physical and neurological blueprint of our subject, focusing next on their eyes and handedness. While many people believe green eyes represent the pinnacle of ocular rarity, there is an even more unusual genetic anomaly known as complete heterochromia. This striking condition occurs when a person possesses 2 entirely different colored eyes, such as one deep brown eye paired with a brilliant blue counterpart. Typically present from birth, heterochromia stems from an uneven distribution or localized lack of melanin within the iris tissue. It is a completely harmless cosmetic trait that leaves visual acuity perfectly intact, yet it occurs in only about 0.06% of the population, or roughly 1 1,667 individuals. To add another layer of uniqueness, we deliberately make this person left-handed, a trait governed by complex neurological development rather than a single dominant gene. Handedness is a fascinating puzzle. Even identical twins, who share an identical genetic sequence, differ in their preferred hand about 20% of the time due to distinct patterns of brain lateralization. Most right-handed people process linguistic data primarily within their left cerebral hemisphere, whereas left-handed individuals frequently display a more balanced, bilateral cognitive organization where both hemispheres share the computational workload. Though social pressures in traditional societies historically force children to conform to right-handed norms leading to widespread underreporting, the conservative global average for natural left-handedness sits at roughly 10%, or 1 in 10 people. By compounding the probabilities of this specific tribal heritage, complete albinism, mismatched eyes, and left-handed orientation, the statistical likelihood of our fictional person breathing today drops to an unfathomable 1 in 5.33 quadrillion, 4 superhuman vision, and the burden of an unforgettable past. We now venture past visible physical traits and delve into the realm of extraordinary, hidden, sensory, and cognitive capabilities. The vast majority of the human race navigates the world using trichromatic vision, relying on 3 distinct types of retinal cone cells that detect blue, green, and red wavelengths of light to perceive roughly 1 million distinct colors. However, a minute fraction of the population possesses a 4th cone type, sensitive to a wavelength nestled right between red and green. This condition, known as functional tetrachromacy, unlocks an entirely hidden spectrum of color, enabling these rare individuals to distinguish up to an astonishing 100 million vibrant hues. Because the specific genetic mutations responsible for this extra cone are located exclusively on the X chromosome, true tetrachromacy is a superpower reserved almost entirely for women, affecting roughly 1 in 40,000 females, or 1 in 80,000 people globally. To complement this supreme visual sensory input, we bestow our individual with a flawless internal archive, hyperthymesia, or highly superior autobiographical memory, HSAM. First formally documented by neuroscientists in 2006, individuals with HSAM possess the astonishing, involuntary capacity to recall virtually every single calendar day of their lives with flawless precision. Rather than a calculated mnemonic trick, their past unfolds like a continuous, unstoppable mental cinema, capturing mundane conversations, weather conditions, and ordinary moments from decades prior. With fewer than 100 officially verified cases on record globally, even the most generous estimates, including undiagnosed individuals, cap the global total at a few hundred people. Factoring in this 1 in 16 million memory trait alongside our previous calculations brings the ultimate probability of this person existing to a mind-boggling 1 in 6.83 septillion. 5. Putting cosmic odds into perspective and embracing your own rarity. To truly comprehend the staggering magnitude of 1 in 6.83 septillion, we must abandon earthly metrics and look toward the grand scale of the cosmos. The entire observable universe, with its billions of swirling galaxies, contains at most roughly 1 septillion stars. If you were to gather and count every solitary grain of sand resting on every beach, desert, and ocean floor across our entire globe, you would need to replicate that total across 910,000 identical Earths just to reach the number of possibilities we have calculated. Remarkably, this is not even the absolute limit of human rarity. We could easily choose to compound this mathematical formula further by introducing exceptionally rare blood types like Rh null, unique skeletal mutations, or outlier levels of creative intelligence. Yet, spinning this complex web of numbers serves a far deeper, more profound purpose than merely engineering an impossible human anomaly. The true revelation of this mathematical journey is that every single person reading these words has already defied monumental, near impossible odds just to exist exactly as they are today. The precise intersection of your specific genetic lineage, the distinct environment in which you were raised, your personal eccentricities, and the unique mosaic of memories you carry makes you a statistical impossibility in your own right. While the old, comforting idiom reminds us that there are plenty of other fish swimming in the vast deep sea, the absolute laws of probability prove that absolutely none of them possess your exact spark, your mind, or your unique magic. You are an unrepeatable cosmic event. So, walk through this world with your head held high, celebrate your individuality, and keep on swimming.